body chasing the truth.
So this is a reaction video to Aaron Rodgers addressing the Jimmy Kimmel situation. Let's get into the video. I'm going to comment.
An interesting week for sure. Very interesting week. A lot of things have been said.
Aaron, can we do something with that mustache, please? I mean, are you going for the Travis Kelce look? Now that he's with Taylor Swift, all of a sudden he's Trucker Bob. We got to do something with that mustache, bro. You make way too much money.
A lot of people have been taking shots at me without mentioning the vax status first, which I thought we established with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That was how we're going to do things moving forward. We haven't done that, obviously. So,
Nick Wright.
Jokes aside, I want to,
Nick Wright did.
Listen,
Nick Wright did. I heard Nick Wright.
Yeah. Listen, jokes aside, I'd really like to get into this and then let's just move on. So, the history of this, before I get into what I said, what I actually said, and how I feel about all that, the history of this, whatever this is between Jimmy and I, this goes back to COVID times, right? And in COVID times, he mentioned on his show jokes about my immunization, which I know you also made a little joke about it. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. I've talked many times about that, but I made a joke about that, and the fact that, my own research. He didn't just stop there, though. He made a lot of other comments about unvaccinated people. Mentioning that they don't deserve treatment.
See, Jimmy Kimmel is bought and paid for by the elite establishment, trying to push certain medications on the public. And when somebody like Aaron Rodgers is brave enough to stand up and say, I don't agree with that, the powers that be know that how much power that Aaron Rodgers holds in his hand because of football and the influence that he has, so they have to attack him. And that's what that is. Ask yourself this. If you were going to trust your life with somebody, would you trust your life with Jimmy Kimmel or Aaron Rodgers? I would pick Aaron Rodgers every single time. I think he truly cares about people and he's a humanitarian, where Jimmy Kimmel is bought and paid for and for the elite establishment and could care less if we all drop dead.
If they're at a hospital, they shouldn't be given a hospital bed. He made comments about...
Well, that just proves my point. Jimmy Kimmel said if you didn't get vaccinated, you shouldn't get a hospital bed. So now you're going to deny people health care based on a medication that they refuse to put into their body? Yeah, that's a real humanitarian there, Jimmy Kimmel.
Repurposed drugs that were being used all over the world that have incredible safety profiles that were derogatory. He mentioned ivermectin being horse-based and pushed that whole narrative for a long time. He gave a platform to one of the biggest spreaders of misinformation during the COVID times, Dr. Fauci. So in my opinion, he ripped me about the vax, and that turns out to be an L on many occasions because the vax was not safe.
Do you know how many people died in nursing homes because of Dr. Fauci, whose loved ones didn't even get to visit them or say goodbye, and they died a lonely, painful death? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Cuomo and Fauci should be in prison for the rest of their lives.
Effective, like we were told that it was in the beginning. There are a lot of injuries now that we've seen related to the vaccine. So in my opinion, you went after me. That's fine. You're a comedian. Go for it. Not offended, but that was an L. Fast forward to, again, unprompted. We're talking on our show, as we do, about a lot of different topics. Somehow the Epstein client list comes up. And I said, it's interesting. And there was for a long time, even still, there hasn't been a list that's been released. There's been one person's, deposition from a 2015 case, right? But we said there's an excitement to expose corruption. And what I joked about the other day about popping a bottle, there's excitement about when the corruption anywhere gets exposed.
Exactly.
And people who are accused of these heinous crimes get exposed, that will be nice. That we can get this all out in the open. That's not there. So I made this comment on the show whenever that was last year, right, I believe. And then unprompted, he comes out and says that I'm an overly concussed wacko. In my opinion, it seemed like because I believe that there was a list and that there were names on that, right? So, then we fast forward to this last week, right? And I said that a lot of people, and I'm quoting myself here, a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't come out. End quote. That's what I said. That's the entire quote.
And he's absolutely right, because a lot of Jimmy Kimmel's friends and the circle that he hangs with are on that list, and you are the company that you keep. And Aaron Rodgers is exactly right, 1,000%.
Okay, I was referring to the fact that if there is a list, which again, this hasn't come out yet, this was just a deposition, right? And there are names on it, then that would be the second time that a soft brain junior college student, wacko, anti-vax, anti-Semite, purveyor, spreader of misinformation, conspiracy theorist, MAGA, whatever other things have been said by him and other people in the media would be right twice. Now, let me just say that is the truth, number one. Number two, I totally understand how serious an allegation of pedophilia would be. So for him to be upset about that, I get it. Did you watch the quote? Because that's exactly what I said. Verbatim what I said on the show. Okay? I'm not stupid enough, even though you think I'm an idiot, and you made a lot of comments about my intelligence, but I'm not stupid enough.
See, like Jimmy Kimmel is a typical liberal where they can talk about your kids, your family, your ethnicity, your religion. They can say anything they want about you, and if you even propose something that's 1,000% truthful, they just go totally insane. They cry and they turn into the victim. I mean, look what he says about Trump. He talks about Trump's kids, Trump's wife, Barron. He totally crosses the line, Jimmy Kimmel, every chance he gets. If you don't like Trump, that's fine. I get it. You attack the man's wife. You attack his daughters. You attack his sons. You attack Barron before he was even in his teenage years. Jimmy Kimmel is a punk piece of garbage. That's what he is. And he doesn't like anybody that has a different point of view. That Jimmy Kimmel's not a man, right, at all. So he can't handle another man having a different opinion than him without attacking him verbally or just resort to name calling and insults.
To accuse you of that with absolutely zero evidence, concrete evidence, that's ridiculous. So I'm glad, and I think we can agree on something, is that one, those crimes are heinous, and two, I'm glad you're on the list, because those who are on the list, and this is what I think we can agree on, that at minimum there should be an inquiry into their involvement, especially if they went to the island, and at maximum there should be an investigation into it. So I hope that you'll give the same type of energy to these heinous crimes when they do come out, and the names do come out, and there is an inquiry into it, that you gave to other subjects that I actually mentioned that you spent a lot of time working on. So I'd like to put this to bed, to move forward. I don't understand, to just finish this up. I do understand. But I don't understand a Mike Foss comment because he didn't help out either. And I'm going to quote Mike Foss. He said, "Aaron made a dumb and factually incorrect joke about Jimmy Kimmel. It should never have happened. We all realized that in the moment." Mike, you're not helping. You're not helping, because I just read earlier exactly what I said. So, and this is the game plan of the media, and this is what they do. They try and cancel. And it's not just me. It's nowhere near just me. I mean, if you look at all the different people who've been censored from the internet especially during COVID, the canceling that went on, the censorship, using the government to try and censor people, that happened. And if that doesn't work, then they go to name calling. I mentioned a lot of the names that I've been called, and they don't stick, because I'm not anti-vax. I'm interested in informed consent and things that are in the best interest of my body. I'm not a MAGA. I've never had any affiliation with anybody associated with that movement, right? Which is okay if you are, though. Like, there's different opinions all over the place, right? If you're that's your ideology, that's fine. I'm not a super political person, okay? Do whatever you want. Conspiracy theorists, that's fine. Because if you look at the track record of conspiracy theorists in the last few years, they've been right about a lot of things. So I don't care about that
Exactly.
one. Anti-Semite, that was called. I mean,
anytime you tell the truth about corruption or an establishment committing corruption, you're a conspiracy theorist. Whether it's the government, whether it's the police, whether it's certain organizations, anytime you tell the truth about their behavior, you're a conspiracy theorist and you have a mental disorder.
that's just like, this is their game plan. They use these words to cancel people, and they went and ran with this because it's the crazy anti-vaxxer wacko again, talking about, accusing somebody of being a pedophile. Like, of course, this is the game plan that they use. Incorrect, but that's the environment that we're in. There's a lot of people who have been captured by various, entities, government entities, whether we're talking about pharmaceutical industrial complex or whether we're talking about believing that the government has a best interest in mind and we're puppeting, various narratives. In the end, if you are not someone whose opinion aligns with the mainstream narrative, this is what they're going to do with you.
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm not a victim. I don't give a shit. Say whatever the hell you want about me. That's fine. Like the people that know me and love me, you know what I'm all about. My teammates know what I'm all about. I don't have,
Most inspiring teammate, by the way. Congratulations. Won an award in the middle of this whole thing from your teammates. Prima donna, obviously.
People puked because of that.
Yeah.
Saw a guy cry.
But listen,
Saw a guy cry because you were named the most inspirational teammate.
Should we say?
That was not like joy,
Listen.
tears of joy.
I still, in the end, to sum this up, listen, I still haven't popped a bottle because there hasn't been any list that's come out. And I'm glad that Jimmy is not on the list. I really am. And I don't think he's the P word. And I think it's impressive that a man who went to Arizona State and has 10 joke writers can read off a prompter. So, my education at JUCO and my 3 semesters at Cal that I'm very proud of has worked out for me, and I'm glad
Stop
to see it's worked
tapping
out
on
for
the
him as well.
desk.
So I
Who's
wish
ever
him
doing that on the show?
best. Again, I don't give a shit what he says about me. But as long as he understands what I actually said and that I'm not accusing him of being on a list, then I'm all for moving forward.
Well, there you have it. You had Aaron Rodgers. You had Aaron Rodgers say his piece, and he's absolutely right what he said. They'll take your words, they'll twist it, they'll say you have a mental disorder. They'll call you all kinds of names, conspiracy theorists. They'll say you're acting aggressive and hostile. They will just say anything if you don't agree with their narrative. If you disagree with the narrative, regardless of what it is, like you could be anywhere. You could be in McDonald's, and if there's a certain narrative at McDonald's that everybody has to believe that this is the best cheeseburger ever, and you're the one person that says, well, there's not a lot of meat on it. I'm never full when I eat it, so what am I actually eating? Then you'll turn into a conspiracy theorist. Then they'll say you're acting hostile inside the restaurant. That's what goes on in 2024. And Jimmy Kimmel, he crosses the line every single night. Talks about people's children, says that people shouldn't, get hospital beds and they should be left to die, and goes after people's wives like the coward punk he is. And all Aaron Rodgers said was, wait till the list comes out, if his name is on it, whatever he said. Didn't call him a pedo, didn't say none of that, and Jimmy Kimmel breaks down and cries. And that's just typical. Right? That's just typical of anybody that's with the establishment, how they could shoot their mouths off, ruin people's lives, prosecute people for no reason, do all types of things, and as soon as somebody just has a different opinion of their opinion, they mentally break down because that's how fragile and evil that they are.